that is just a travesty that he has not been able to get the ball.
David Treadwell kicks it off. Darren Nelson is the deep man. He fields it at the 2. Boom. 27-yard line. Charles Demery in on the stop.
We talked early in the first half that Wade Wilson's the kind of quarterback that you want to get started with some confidence. He's not a kind of guy that recovers from early mistakes. Now, right before the first half, he threw the interception to Randy Robbins, as you recall. Denver turned that into 3 points. Again, this first series is important for him to get that confidence back. A couple of first downs, running the ball. Maybe you throw a couple of short passes, pick up another first downs, just to get him back in rhythm.
Herschel Walker, the up back in the eye. Play action pass complete to the tight end for a first down. Steve Jordan. Near midfield. 25-yard pickup.
Beautiful touch throw there by Wade Wilson on to number 83, his tight end Steve Jordan. Now, Steve Jordan has caught 368. That's his 69th pass in his career, and he's run through linebackers. He's run past them. He's run over safeties, and he can run for you after the catch, which I think really distinguishes him from other tight ends around the league.
The Carters wide to the left, Hassan Jones to the right. Walker the lone setback. Walker goes straight ahead, pounds for about 3, and again they sent Anthony Carter in motion and fake the give to him.
You're absolutely right, and if that many people are tackling Herschel Walker, you would think Anthony Carter is going to be open on the reverse. That's the one time he did touch the ball that counted in the first half, was on a reverse where he picked up 8 yards, but it was also the same play that Herschel Walker ran for whatever it was, 49 yards.
Hassan Jones wide to the left. Chris Carter in the slot over there. Anthony Carter wide right against Demery. 2nd and 7. Wilson has a man. Complete. Chris Carter. See where they mark the football. It'll be inside the 30. A 22-yard pickup, and just like that, the Vikings are knocking at the door.
Yes, Chris Carter, we talked about him being a unique receiver. Even if he's covered, give him a chance. Carl Mecklenburg in there had him pretty well covered from that angle. A tough throw for Wade Wilson, throwing the ball away from Mecklenburg, but a good adjustment by Chris Carter, which he's been doing his entire career.
How could the Eagles cut him loose, Chris Carter?
It's a shock to me because he is incredibly good inside the 20-yard line in particular.
Hassan Jones wide right. Anthony Carter in motion. This time he gets the ball. Flags fly. Mecklenburg runs him out of bounds. Let's see what the penalty's all about. You can see they've just made up their mind that Anthony Carter is going to get something done in this second half.
You're absolutely right, but it's the hold against the Vikings. But a good heads-up play by Carl Mecklenburg, because remember just a moment ago that play would have worked when they gave the ball to Herschel, and I think Mecklenburg, in his mindset, he's anticipating what the offense is going to run. He says, hey, they may well come back.
69 offense, still first down.
And run the same action, but this time give it to Anthony Carter. It's Todd Kalis, the right guard for the Vikings.
Second time they've looked him up tonight.
Right guard number 69. Kalis is the one they call it on. He's coming right at you. Kind of tackles. He very much tackles Simon Fletcher.
You can say that, yes.
Yeah, an easy call.
Herschel Walker is the setback. First and 20, play action. Wilson has an eternity and goes for all of it. Incomplete. Dennis Smith was back there and covered. Anthony Carter, the intended receiver.
Boy, good recovery there by Dennis Smith, because that's one Wade Wilson thought that he could look away from number 81 at the top of the screen and then come back to him. Wilson looks right, but Dennis Smith doesn't go for it, doesn't go for the fake, and does a nice job of just shielding Anthony Carter from the ball. Well, he has played well close to the line of scrimmage on some tackles, and that time deep in center field.
The Carters wide to the left. Hassan Jones to the right. Herschel Walker, the lone setback. Herschel on the draw. Pulls his way. No first down, but a good game. Steve Atwater in on the stop. Mike Kroll helped him.
Okay, there's about 3 big bodies hitting one of them. Herschel Walker, Steve Atwater, and Dennis Smith coming right at you. A terrific call on this down, a passing situation. You spread the defense out and create holes like that They spread it out with 3 wide receivers, and then you create just a little running lane for Herschel Walker.
It's 3rd and 4. Steve Sewell into the game. Hassan Jones wide to the left. Chris Carter in the slot over there. Darren Nelson, rather, is in the game. Excuse me. Anthony Carter to the right. Complete. Anthony Carter. Did he get a first down? I think he did. Yes.
Well, they were determined to get him the ball in the second half. Absolutely determined. Again, it doesn't look like much. It is much as only a 5 or 6 yard gain, but I think it sets a tempo, a sign that the Vikings are going to give him a chance. He and the other Carter, Chris Carter, a chance to come up with a play down here in scoring territory.
11:05 left in the quarter. 1st and 10 at the 15. Carter in motion. The give is to Herschel up the middle. He got a couple.
Well, this has been a nice sequencing of play calling by Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, and Jerry Burns. And we've seen a couple of things. The Herschel Walker runs up the middle. We've seen some draws with him, setting up a couple of reverses. The one reverse to Anthony Carter.
And showing you the options each time.
That's exactly right. And then they've come off some run action and thrown the ball to their tight end and wide receivers.
2nd and 8 from the 13. Walker the lone setback. Chris Carter in motion. Chris Carter down the middle. Wilson will run. He's hit. He is dropped. He almost got back to the line of scrimmage. Michael Brooks among those, and on the stop. Also in there was Ron Holmes.
You know, Anthony Carter, number 81, is covered on this particular play, but you know, again, I really believe that he's one of those guys, even if he is covered, to throw it up. That wasn't the problem. There was a big rush on Wade Wilson. He didn't have a chance to even throw it up to Anthony Carter.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. The Carter's wide right, Hassan Jones left. Walker the setback. Complete. Shy of the first down. Anthony Carter again. Boy, he really got popped by Atwater.
Well, we talked about Steve Atwater, the free safety of Denver, playing like a linebacker. And the closer you get to the line of scrimmage, or the goal line, the more he does that.
Reves will come in and try to nail the field goal. It will be a chip shot.
It wasn't a bad drive here by the Vikings, but again, I think really disappointing they didn't get them a chance to get themselves into the end zone for the touchdown. It's every series they've had, it's been some 3rd down play that they have just not been able to get over the hump. They've been miserable on 3rd down tonight.
25-yard field goal try. Newsom will hold. The kick is up. The kick is good, and the Vikings have the lead at 6-3 with 8:48 remaining. That's 15 in a row for Reves, ties a club record. We'll be back to the Metrodome right after this. Trail the Giants 2-0 here. Alton Montgomery, number 22. Kevin Clark, number 20, will try to run back the kick of Fouad Reves. 6-3 is our score. The Vikings on top. Line drive kick. That'll bounce around for a while. Montgomery will take it. He reaches the 20. He gets outside and is tripped up as he crosses the 25-yard line by Solomon Wilcots, the reserve safety. So John Elway and his troops will try to find the magic. They haven't been able to do so thus far.
Yeah, and the magic is been stopped because they've gotten themselves the entire first half in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 type of situations. If they're going to get some sort of momentum and get a touchdown on the board this quarter or this drive, they're going to have to get themselves in a lot more 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, and pick up first downs to keep drives alive.
They go with 2 setbacks. Robert Perryman, the fullback, Gaston Green, the tailback, the pitch to Green. Merriweather turned him inside, and not much. Merriweather gets in on the tackle along with Henry Thomas. Merriweather made the plays, a 10-year man out of Pacific.
One of the ways you can slow down Chris Dolman is by putting 2 blockers on him. First the tackle, and then Perriman, number 33. And that's a pretty good double team on a guy that's been giving you a headache thus far in the evening.
And of course, with Keith Millard not here and not playing again this year, that makes it easier to double Dolman.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan was saying it's a lot easier to scheme this year without Millard.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Green again. He pops through there again and gets a first down out close to the 40-yard line. Felix Wright, the free safety, and on the stop, and another 13-yard gain for Green.
Yeah, Gaston Green has got a nice little skip in him. Watch the little skip here. Different running backs have their own favorite little move. This is one of his.
15 carries, 106 yards.
Yeah, boy, it is a nicely designed play. Again, by putting so many wide receivers out, you get 4 or 5 bodies away from the line of scrimmage and give him a lot more air.
First down from the 39. Shannon Sharp is in motion. Pitch to Green. Cuts back, runs into Dolman. Short gain. Merriweather was there as well.
You know, Chris Dolman can hurt you when you run at him, and he can chase you down from behind as well. Here's a guy that's just going to hustle every play. And again, as Gaston Green tried to cut back, he thought he had a soft spot. Boom. He ran right into number 56.
Last week, Green 127 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's over 100 yards again. But we have no TDs in this game. Mark Jackson wide to the left. 2nd and 7. Into the flat. It is dropped by Green. He's dropped a couple. In fairness to him, that pass a little bit behind him, but it was a catchable ball.
He's dropped 2 catchable balls tonight. Actually, 3 catchable balls tonight. Never really caught the ball much at UCLA, and certainly did not catch the ball much with the Rams. But they, you like his speed so much, and you like when you play a man-for-man team, you like a matchup of Gaston Green against an individual defender. So you keep coming back to it, hoping he's going to make a play. Again, 3rd and long for Denver. 3rd and 7. They've been here all night.
Steve Sewell checks into the backfield with Elway. 3rd and 7. Complete to Young. He breaks a couple of tackles, and he's into Minnesota territory. Michael Young, a fine reception, and then a good run after the catch. They'll mark it at the 43-yard line. A 15-yard 3rd down completion. Keeps a drive alive for Denver with 6:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Again, and that is just the kind of thing they didn't do in the first half. Convert on those 3rd and longs.
Perryman and Green still in there. Mark Jackson wide left. Michael Young splits right. Green. More yardage. Breaks 1 tackle. Spins close to the 30-yard line. Felix Wright got him, and if he didn't, he's gone. Another 12-yard pickup.
You know, just like offensive linemen get into a rhythm and quarterbacks do, running backs do as well. And Gaston Green is in the flow of this game. He is finding soft spots, he is finding seams, and he's actually running through some tackles tonight, which I haven't really seen a Gaston Green throughout his career.
Another tight end checks into the game. Reggie Johnson, a rookie out of Florida State. 1st and 10 at the 31. Green, outside, inside the 20-yard line. Down he goes. He's tearing them up. Ray Berry in on the stop, but another sizable advance.
You have to wonder what's going through Bobby Humphrey's mind as he sits at home, and the holdout runner, the 1,000-yard runner the last couple of years for Denver, as he watches Gaston Green get off to this kind of start this season. Gaston Green has played sensational.
And the front office of the Los Angeles Rams, you wonder what they're thinking about, too.
Maybe they end up making the trade for Bobby Humphrey.
1st and 10 at the 19. Shannon Sharp in motion. Green. Not much this time. Merriweather got there. Joey, check that. It was Henry Thomas as well. Merriweather and Thomas on the stop.
I'll tell you, one thing that you're setting up here is a perfect situation for play-action passes. As much as he's carrying the ball, and as quickly as those defensive safeties for the Minnesota Vikings are now supporting, it's a wonderful opportunity to get the ball downfield off and fake the Gaston Green.
Out wide to the left, Mark Jackson.
Carried 4 straight times as Gaston Green.
2nd and 8. Merriweather was there on the coverage. Henry Thomas applied the pressure on Elway.
Mike Merriweather has always been an impact player because he can run and he can cover. Now this is a ball he clearly should have caught. But the thing is, Mike Merriweather is always around the ball.
Timeout is called here. A player is down on the deck and so far can't get up. The Broncos are driving. Henry Thomas is the down Viking, but he appears he's going to try to get up. Looks like his left knee is plaguing him. The Broncos are on a drive. We'll be back. Their opponents 16 times this year. They've scored on 15 of those occasions, either a touchdown or a field goal.
It was a good run by John Elway and a poor tackle by Joey Browner. Joey Browner playing with a very sore right shoulder that has prevented him from even lifting up his arm. But a terrific call, and Elway has done this a lot in his career on 3rd and 5, 6 and 7s. For the defensive back to get in the end zone. I tell you, when your quarterback is making plays like that, it lifts your entire team.
Elway, a 215-pounder, and he dished out some punishment there. 3:33 left in the 3rd quarter, and it's a 10-6 ball game as David Treadwell boots it home, and we have our first touchdown of the evening. 3:33 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and some late in the game fireworks appear to be developing here. Stay with us. Off the clock, and of those 74 yards, 59 of them were on the ground.
Yeah, but the last two were the most interesting. John Elway running over Aldre McMillan.
Yeah, he found it really interesting up there. Here's the kick by Treadwell. Darren Nelson is the deep man at the 5. At the 25, and that is all. Mike Kroll there on the stop. So the Vikings will go to work from the 25-yard line. They trail by 4 points. We'll be back right after this.
Wilson responds here. Again, he's only thrown the ball to Steve Jordan, his tight end, a couple times, but he has been open, the tight end, Jordan.
Walker in motion. Allen gets the ball, gets 5, flags fly. He gets 10 before he's drilled to the earth by Atwater, but it looks like might be holding against Minnesota. We'll wait and see. That's what it is.
It is, but have you noticed when you hit Steve Atwater, you don't gain any extra yards? Once the contact is made by Steve Atwater, you don't gain those extra yard or two.
Holding, 63, offense. Still first down.
Take a look at number 27. This guy is a devastating tackler, number 27. You're not going to get loose with him. You're not going to bounce off him. And you're also not going to gain any yards after contact.
5th penalty against the Vikings for a total of 35 yards. Boy, they have really hurt him. They've come at inopportune time. Walker and Allen still the setbacks. Now Allen splits out, and Walker is alone behind Wade Wilson. Wilson has plenty of time. Throws incomplete. Anthony Carter, the intended receiver, but nowhere near him. Wyman Henderson on the cover.
Skip, let's go back and look at the anatomy of the quarterback draw, the touchdown that Denver just ran. Here are the 2 wide receivers lined up on the left side. Now, all they're trying to do is run off 2 defenders that are not going to have any chance. So that takes care of 2 people. You don't even have to block them. 2 wide receivers on the right. Vance Johnson, number 82 in the slot, tries to block Audrey McMillan. So you have 4 guys out of the play, and then Elway just makes it the last 3 yards. That's a well-designed play by the formation.
Wilson to throw, and he's got pressure. Simon Fletcher was after him. He's after him again. Wilson is hit. Wilson is down at the 15-yard line. Fletcher was in on the stop, but Ron Holmes was there as well. And the Vikings are headed in reverse at the moment. And the Boo Birds are out in the Metrodome.
He's got those feet moving, and maybe he was Fred Astaire looking for Ginger Rogers. Maybe that was the dancer I was looking for before. But again,
maybe so.
The quick rush early by Simon Fletcher. Well, that's such a big game against the Vikings last year.
3rd and 19 is now our situation.
One of the big surprises of both these teams tonight is how much pressure both of them have been able to put on the opposing quarterback.
pressure. Down he goes. Mike Kroll, the youngster out of Nebraska, sacks him way back at the 7. What do you call that? A jailbreak, huh?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He is the #1 draft pick who looks like he's injured, number 51, Mike Kroll from Nebraska. But he is a guy. Charlie Waters, the defensive backfield coach, was saying that I have never seen a faster linebacker than Mike Kroll, and we've got to get him on the field. This guy can really run. He blows right past Herschel Walker to make the sack.
They give him the 9-yard line on that play, and that's very nice of him. Harry Newsom will punt it. Kevin Clark stands near midfield as he hopes to return it. Nice kick. Near his 40-yard line. Here's Clark. Breaks one tackle. Gets across midfield and down to the 45-yard line and inside it. 49-yard punt, 13-yard return. Now let's take a look at tonight's Coors Light scoreboard. The Bills win. All field goals. The Raiders prevail. The Giants continue to struggle. A big win for the Cowboys. The Saints are unbeaten. The Rams had a big lead. The Packers fought back. Don Makowski, separated shoulder, his left arm. Lions win big over the Bucks, as do the Jets, surprisingly, over the Dolphins. Meanwhile, back here, we're ready to go. They mark it at the 44. There's that man again. It's Green inside the 40.
The inside of that offensive line for Denver really has to be doing a job. And it starts with their center, Keith Karts. And the tackles, the Wydell brothers, because there are a lot of creases that we're seeing in this Minnesota Viking defense that have allowed Gaston Green to have quite a night.
Second down, 5 yards to go. The ball's at the 39. We're in the final minute of the third quarter.
You know, Minnesota has just not forced Denver to have to adjust. They keep seeing more and more of Gaston Green.
And they're going to see a little more of him, and he pounds his way forward. He's short of the first down. Al Noga in on the stop.
You know, it's not necessarily pretty. And clearly the Broncos only scoring 10 points. It has to be somewhat of a concern to Dan Reeves, looking for his 100th win. But I'll tell you one thing is they're going to keep coming at you until you force them to do something else, do something different. I think it's a sign of a pretty good football team.
The third quarter has come to a close here. They run through the last few seconds, but both teams have headed to the other end of the field. This is going to be a very big third down play for Denver when we come back to the Metrodome right after this.
Wow! Upper Deck football cards!
Play coming up here. It's 3rd and 2 at the 36-yard line for the Broncos, who lead 10-6 as we start the final quarter of regulation.
Yeah, games that generally decide on 3 or 4 plays, maybe 5, and this is one of them. The biggest third down for the Minnesota defense tonight.
Will they try a quarterback draw again? Steve Sewell is in the game. Nope, they'll throw for it to Sewell, and he breaks a tackle, has a first down, and is down to the 27-yard line, and he made a fine run after he caught the ball. Reggie Rutland on the stop.
You know, Steve Sewell has always been a dependable receiver for these Denver Broncos. This time on 3rd and 2, he just runs a little flat route right there, and the ball is perfectly thrown right out in front of Sewell. See, that's a zone defense that generally should take that play away. Carl Lee was there, but the ball was too perfectly executed, too perfectly thrown by Elway.
He has a first down at the 27. Green inside, gets to the 25, and no more than that. He really got racked up. Ray Berry was there.
Ray Berry, the number 50, the middle linebacker for Minnesota, is taken over for Scott Studwell, who retired after about 14 years. He's a flow kind of linebacker. He's not a guy that necessarily wants to stand in there and take on offensive guards and centers all the time, but you get him moving. From tackle to tackle, Ray Berry can make some plays as he did right there.
He's only a 227-pounder, so he has to be quick. 2nd and 9 at the 26. early. It looks like holding against Denver. Felix Wright ran him out of bounds. A fine run by Green is going to come to nothing. It stops the clock with 13:34.
Holding, 72 offense.
Keith Karts
Second down.
caught holding, so it's second and long now.
'72. Keith Karts is the center. And kind of the takedown there, Ken Clark, wasn't terribly blatant. I've seen worse.
On virtually every play, but
Yeah.
he did hold. Michael Young wide to the left. Mark Jackson wide to the right. Second and 19. He scrambled. He knocked down at the 38-yard line. Ray Berry was there.
That's good defensive coverage by the Minnesota Vikings. Good defensive coverage. Watch number 39, Carl Lee. He has got Mark Jackson. And again, he's got some makeup speed. And on the other side, this is Reggie Rutland. He's got Michael Young covered. And you see where Elway had nowhere to go. In tremendous pursuit by the down linemen, the linebackers. One thing about Elway, you have to stay alive because he can scramble and make a 3-second play into 5 or 8 seconds.
Ricky Teal to the left, Michael Young to the right. 3rd and 21. He wants at least field goal range here.
Yeah.
And that's what he gets at the 25-yard line. The catch is made by Mark Jackson.
A wonderful protection that time for John Elway, and you're exactly right. He wanted to make it a 7-point game. It's a 4-point game right now. He really wasn't even thinking first down or even touchdown. Give your kicker a chance to make it a 7-point game.
Joey Browner got up very slowly. We mentioned earlier, Pat did, that he has a bad shoulder, and it's not feeling better after that play.
And he could
David Treadwell will try to make it a 7-point game.
You see all the pads he's wearing, but his right shoulder, he's got a nerve problem in there. He said he can barely lift his right arm.
This is a 32-yard try. 42-yard try. Good if it goes. Let's see. He got it.
Yep.
So it's a 7-point game. Treadwell nails it with 11:48 left. But the Vikings will have the ball when we come back. They trail by a touchdown and an extra point. Back to the Metrodome right after this. Walk off to Darren Nelson. 7-point game. Here we go. Line drive kick. Nelson in the end zone is going to stay there. Now he wishes he hadn't, but he probably did the right thing. Here's the anatomy of a field goal coming up, Pat.
And you know, the little things make difference in football games. Watch how the holder Kubiak, Gary Kubiak, spins the ball and gets it around, gets the laces away from the kicker. And then watch how closely, or how close Tim Irwin, number 76, comes to blocking this thing. I mean, he is certainly high enough and tall enough, all 6-7 of them. You couldn't get the paw on it.
This is only the 3rd possession the Vikes have had this half. They start from their 20-yard line. Play action. Wilson to throw. Down the field, intercepted by Atwater. And Jordan knocks him down at the 24-yard line. Boy, does that hurt the Vikings.
Wade Wilson throughout his entire career has been a hot and cold passer. When he is in rhythm, he can be as good as anybody, but when he gets out of rhythm, he makes plays like that. And his confidence is absolutely shaken right now. Inside slot receiver trying to get the ball to Chris Carter. The ball is just poorly thrown. Nice catch there by Steve Atwater on a pretty hot pass.
Here's a surprise. Greg Lewis, a rookie from Washington, is checked into the game at the tailback position. Elway's going to throw. That's knocked down. Looked like Barry got a piece of that.
Sure did. Sure did. Well, if you look at the Vikings offense tonight, 6 points, 2 field goals. Last week they didn't score a point. They were shut out by a very good New Orleans team. Jerry Burns has to have some major concerns about this offense. Came in only having scored 43 points on the season.
Gaston Green back in the game, out for only 1 play. It's 2nd and 10. Michael Young in motion. Breaks the tackle inside the 20. Very close to a first down. He may have it. Joey Browner on the stop.
Boy, Skip, I have never seen Gaston Green run like this, and I saw him play a lot at UCLA. Didn't get a chance much with the Rams, but the thing about Gaston Green tonight, he has run much more physically than I have ever seen him. He's breaking tackles. He's also always been known as a guy that goes down awful easily, but certainly not tonight. You add that power and the ability to break some tackles with his speed, you've got a pretty good running back.
Looks like they're going to measure here. It's either 3rd and short or a first down just inside the 15-yard line.
Well, if Minnesota is going to have any chance to win this game, they're trailed by 7 right now. This defense is going to have to force a big play, a turnover, certainly stuff them and just force a field goal attempt during this drive. Otherwise, the way their offense is played, they're going to have absolutely no chance with 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
It's 3rd and less than a yard. Green, 23 carries, 152 yards. He's going to earn his leather sweater, isn't he?
That's right.
He keeps this up, he's going to earn a lot more than that. 3rd and less than a yard.
Well, after John Elway ran over 3 guys to get in the end zone, maybe let him sneak for it, huh?
Wouldn't be surprising. Nope, he's going to go with what brung him. I think he got enough. We'll wait for the spot. Green, by the way, a career high. From the mark of the football, it's enough for a first down.
Now, this is amazing. Never would you have thought that you'd run Gaston Green on 3rd and 1, but you see what kind of back he is developing into for this Denver Bronco team.
10.5 minutes remaining. It is a first down.
Again, short yardage is just a battle for territory. It's like riding a crowded subway. It's getting elbow room. That's what your offensive linemen have to do. They gave Gaston Green just enough to pick up the yards for the first down.
Denver appears to be in pretty good shape, but you never know. 10-10 remaining in our game. Well, we may be changing the play as he comes to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 14. And in sharp in motion. Green hit behind the line by Dolman. He's lucky he didn't fumble the ball there because Dolman and the ball got to him at exactly the same time.
Boy, nice adjustment there by Chris Dolman, number 56, who kind of shifted down from an end position right to the tackle. As soon as the guard pulled, Craig Wolfley pulled, I'm sorry, the left guard pulled, he was right there making the play. And a nice adjustment by Chris Dolman.
2nd and 13 at the 17-yard line. Michael Young wide to the right. Mark Jackson to the left. Robert Perryman in the backfield with Green.
Oh, it's got to be interference.
Yes, and it is. It was intended for Mark Jackson. That was pretty obvious out there.
You know why it was interference, too? Because Mark Jackson really sold Reggie Rutland on the inside route. Yeah, there it is. Defensive holding. Watch Mark Jackson against Reggie Rutland. Reggie Rutland's had the better of the eating so far, but he sells him on the inside route and then goes outside. And you know, maybe it's a smart play, otherwise it's a touchdown.
Could well be.
Yeah.
It's only the 5-yard penalty, but an automatic first down. 9:08 left.
And that's going to happen to you from time to time when you're out there on that island. And if you're going to get beaten, grab him to prevent the 6 points.
Because you might get a mistake and a turnover on the next play. Michael Young is wide to the left.
We're going to see a few more runs here. Nope, you see a timeout.
Timeout is called by Denver. John Elway wants to check some signals over there.
You know, we were talking with him yesterday, Skip. He really seemed more relaxed and comfortable, and as he told us, having a lot more fun. He's having more fun calling his plays, and that's really the reason Dan Reeves gave him the opportunity to do so. He said, hey, I didn't think he was having any fun. It seemed like all work and drudgery during training camp.
We asked him what he didn't like about calling his own plays, and he said nothing except all the questions I get about it, and I guess that makes a certain amount of sense. Well, this is a big spot in the game. Minnesota has to come up with something. They have to force a turnover, really.
Absolutely.
9:08 remaining. Denver in a 1st and 10 situation deep in Viking territory.
And, you know, you wonder if Minnesota turning it over, you don't have a confident quarterback. Maybe you make the change. You see Gannon, Rich Gannon, number 16, who played in this game a year ago because of an injury to Wade Wilson and led the Vikings to a win. Wonder he'll come in. But right now, Wade Wilson is not a very confident quarterback, and it's a position that you have to play with great abandon and, I think, confidence. Michael Young wide to the left. Everybody else is in tight. Reggie Johnson in as an added tight end. Shannon Sharp in motion. Green. Inside the 5-yard line, down to the 4. Carl Lee on the stop. Green may be hurt. He is getting up slowly. He took a shot right in the thigh, I believe. Oh. He's trying to walk it off, but that's not going to work. And Greg Lewis is going to come into the game, and that's a costly loss, at least for a little while, for Denver. And Carl Lee got a helmet right on the thigh pad. Lewis is out of the University of Washington. 2nd down, 2 yards to go at the 4. Sharp in motion. Lewis hit at the line of scrimmage. Lunges forward. Let's see where they mark the football. He might be close to a 1st down. Hostilities break out. You know, on that extra surge, depending upon the mark, Lewis may well have gotten the 1st down. He may have also gotten a finger in the eye as he checked into the game. You know, for Dan Reeves, he said yesterday, I'm going to know a lot more about my football team after this game and next week's game against Houston in the Astrodome. Said we haven't won on the road yet, and good football teams need to do that. They gave him only the 4-yard line. That appeared to be a break for the Vikings. It's 3rd down and 2 yards to go. We're down to 7:35 remaining in our game. High formation in the backfield. Elway keeps. Elway's going to try to run it in. Now he throws. Incomplete. Flags fly. Holding. It's going to be against the Vikings. Boy, their penalties have killed them tonight. Well, that'll give them the 1st. He's calling on 57. Merriweather. Yep.
57 defense. 1st down.
7th penalty for 42 yards, but the penalties have cost him a touchdown, a huge gain, and may give Denver a chance for a touchdown here and a chance to run some more clock. Left part of your screen, number 57 in purple. He grabs the running back right there. Grabs Perriman coming out of the backfield. That's a terrific call by the referee. So they give him a 1st down, and they mark the ball just outside the 2-yard line. Greg Lewis and Robert Perriman are the running backs. Lewis gets to the 1. The ball comes loose. Let's see what they call. Yep. Yes. The ball goes to the Vikings. Carl Lee on the recovery. The rookie fumbled the ball at the mouth of the goal. Just the break we were talking about the Minnesota defense had to come up with. It was number 22, Felix Wright, the free safety who caused the fumble. And Carl Lee there to make the recovery. They'll get the ball on the 20-yard line. Big defensive play. Not done yet. Stay with us. 13-6 is our score. We hesitate for a moment, for they did review that fumble, but it was not overruled. And the Vikings have the ball, and Rich Gannon is in at quarterback with 7:20 left, and they start at their own 20-yard line. Herschel Walker didn't get much, perhaps a yard. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, made the stop.
Let's have another look at the fumble by Greg Lewis. They were reviewing it to see if he was down before the fumble, but he was actually on one of his teammates' back. That was Dave Wydell. Then the ball came out, the forced fumble by Felix Wright. And that's why Minnesota got the ball on the 20-yard line.
Wide to the right, Chris Carter. Anthony Carter in the slot to this side. Anthony Carter gets the football, gets yardage. It's tripped up as he gets across the 30-yard line, and were it not for that, he may have been off to the races.
Yeah, get yourself a new quarterback, get your team emotional lift, sprinkle a little Anthony Carter in, and that's a pretty good mixture. Number 81, again, they've been setting up this play a couple times tonight. Either they give the ball to the one-back Herschel Walker, and then they'll fake it to Anthony Carter. Sometimes they fake it to Walker like there, and you give it to Carter. He's had a couple of runs, nice runs on reverses, 2 for 16 yards. And Wade Wilson's a good shot of Wade Wilson, whose confidence is absolutely shattered right now.
First down for the Vikings. 6 minutes left in regulation time. Gannon is going to throw for the first. Now he's going to run. And he is run out of bounds after a short gain by Mike Kroll.
Again, remember, he was the quarterback. Rich Gannon was the quarterback last year in this very game against the Denver Broncos, and Minnesota won.
Herschel Walker comes out of the game. Darren Nelson checks in.
They were down 16-0 in that game, and he brought them back.
The Carters are wide to the left. Hassan Jones wide right.
It's a good place to throw the ball over the Carters.
2nd and 5. Gannon to throw, puts it out, complete to Jordan. He fumbles the ball. Let's see what they call it. Atwater recovered, but I think they're going to call him down. Let's see.
Yeah. They'll definitely review it, I think, unless the whistle blew and it's on automatic down.
Boy, there's a huge play in the game as well.
Steve Jordan, number 83, the tight end. We've seen him catch the ball down the middle, deep. He's also pretty good reception, pretty good possession receiver. He was trying to stretch for the first down, but the ground caused the fumble, so that ball should be dead. And it is.
They want to run this play in a hurry. It looks like the Vikings come up 13-6 with 4:45. Third down play. Third and short. First down. Herschel Walker.
Boy, last week Jerry Burns was critical of Herschel Walker in short yardage situations, said he didn't run behind the guard to pick up a first down. That time Herschel Walker didn't dive, didn't give you his patented dive over the top, but indeed did stay on the ground and picked up the first.
Hassan Jones wide right. Anthony Carter wide left. Chris Carter slot left. 4 minutes left. Gannon to throw. He has time. Complete. Breaking one tackle and ahead. Hassan Jones to the 44-yard line. Or is it Walker?
It is Walker.
It's Walker for 11 yards.
And he is hurt. Herschel Walker is definitely hurt. He got hurt earlier in the game, a nerve in his neck, and now he comes out with that limp left arm. And this ball was well thrown by Rich Gannon right to Herschel Walker. Made a nice adjustment to catch it.
Mike Kroll finally got him. Terry Allen and Darren Nelson in the backfield now. 3:20 remaining. Nelson in motion. He gets the ball. Anthony Carter has him now. He's got some room. He is run out of bounds. What a play by Kenny Walker, the youngster. He stayed home, and that's a big play for Denver.
And that was a tremendous play by Kenny Walker, who plays with a suddenness about him because of Kenny Walker, number 96, doesn't do his assignment and stay where he's supposed to stay. Anthony Carter has 50 yards. And all the action was taking Kenny Walker to the left side of the field, but he had the presence and great vision and saw Carter coming around. You know, defensive linemen can have great vision just like quarterbacks.
Herschel Walker back in the game. The ball at the 39-yard line, 2nd and 4. Walker has some room up the middle. First down, 32-yard line. Dennis Smith on the stop.
Well, Herschel Walker is in running, but I think he's hurt. He is holding that left arm limp.
He's got 97 yards on 11 carries. That one big one, 49 yards.
Very quietly, Herschel Walker has those 97 yards. But it's amazing what a change of scenery. A new quarterback coming in, just the emotional lift. You see
that and the big mistake at the other end.
Absolutely.
Denver.
How often it happens to teams now.
1st and 10 at the 31. 2:38 remaining. Walker again bulls his way close to the 25-yard line. 2.5 minutes. Michael Brooks on the stop, but right now the Vikings look sharp as a tack. Darren Nelson comes into the game. Herschel Walker comes trotting off. From the 25-yard line. This is the 10th play of the drive coming up.
Well, this is the best drive they've had all night. And an audible here by Rich Gannon, an experienced guy.
He won't get it away prior to the 2-minute warning. The crowd doesn't like that, but they've got all the time they need. 25 yards away from a touchdown. Gannon has led him down the field. We'll be back to see how this works out right after this. Truck leaderboard. And there it is.
See Gaston Green there, 158 yards. He'll get another shot, at least one more shot this game, to be the leading rusher on the day.
2nd and 4 at the 25. Darren Nelson is the setback. And gets the draw. And flags fly, and he fights for what would have been a first down, but check the penalty flag right in the middle of the line. Mecklenburg among those in on the stop, along with Simon Fletcher. But holding again against the Vikings with 1:52 left, and they have really hurt themselves with penalties tonight.
Yeah, and remember, with the 1:52, they're down by the 7 points. They've got to get the ball into the end zone, so this is not
76 offense.
Our man Tim Irwin. And
8 penalties, 52 yards, 4 of them holding. Remember the touchdown that Carter called back.
That's exactly right. And again, they've been trying to get the ball to Anthony Carter, running the football on some reverses and things. Now it's time. 2nd and 15. The game is on the line. You get the ball to Chris Carter, get the ball to Anthony Carter.
And don't forget Hassan Jones. It's Chris Carter in motion. Gannon to throw, has plenty of time. Complete and immediately hit and knocked down.
Darren Nelson, I believe, out of the backfield.
Lyman Henderson made the stop, and Gannon wants a timeout and gets it here with 1:41 remaining, and he faces a 3rd and 9. Of course, they're in a 4-down area with only 1:41 left and down by 7 points. So timeout is called here. 1:41 remaining in regulation. And we'll be back right after this. You see the score. That's what's remaining in our game, or at least in regulation. The Carter duo to the right.
Remember, you have 2 downs, but I say even if one of these wide receivers are covered, the Carters, these guys have made a career out of making catches in coverage. Give them a chance.
Chris Carter in motion. Gannon throws complete. He's got Chris Carter, and he is close to a first down. We shall see. Lyman Henderson on the stop. The clock runs with 90 seconds remaining. And they move the chain.
Yeah, got to get the ball in the end zone. Again, with a minute 22, you don't have to rush it from here on out.